Hey Canucks fans, the big question ahead of tonight's game is who comes in to replace Tyler Myers. I'm Clay Emo, I'm at Canuck Clay on Twitter, I'm at Clayton Emo on Instagram. I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club. This is my Canucks take, all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Sunday, August the 16th. This is where you get Canucks insight that's positive and timely. Game 3, Vancouver, St. Louis Blues, 7:30 local time start. Don't forget to join me for my post-game live stream right after the game. We'll see if it's as eventful as the Friday night one where there was a live car accident. I wasn't in it. And there was also a prank by John of Hot Take Hockey. I thought I was getting hacked. You guys know the story by now. So we'll see what happens tonight. Hopefully we are talking about a Canucks win. Imagine if the Canucks take a commanding 3-0 lead over the defending Stanley Cup champions. Now, speaking of the Canucks, we know that Tyler Myers got hurt at the I can't remember if it was the late second or early third of game number 2, and we saw that he kind of I wouldn't say it was a particularly dirty hit by Schenn, but certainly Myers went into the boards. Looks like he jammed his shoulder, and from all accounts, it's not a concussion, but it is indeed a shoulder injury. But the Canucks have been they're one of the more secretive teams when it comes to being in the bubble. They don't often talk about injuries or their lineup, so we don't know who's going to come in on the right side for him. We know it's going to be likely one of the three. It's either going to be Jordie Benn, who just got back in the bubble and has been quarantining, has been practicing with the team. So it sounds like he's ready to go after celebrating the birth of his child. So it's either Jordie Benn, or it's Jalen Chatfield, or it's Brogan Rafferty. I know some of you are hoping that it's Ole Juolevi, considering how well Juolevi played in the final game of the Minnesota series. But remember, Juolevi is a left side defenseman, whereas Tyler Myers plays on the right. And although some players are good enough to play on both sides, I don't think Travis Green, at this point, such a crucial time in the postseason, the playoffs, I don't think he wants to experiment with putting a guy on the right side, a guy who hasn't played there all season long. Although I'm actually pretty certain that Quinn Hughes could probably do it, given how skilled he is. But my guess is either going to be one of the three right-handers. It's going to be Jalen Chatfield, Brogan Rafferty, or Jordie Benn. So let's not talk about Juolevi so much. We know that it's Tanev and Stetcher already in the first two spots on the right. We know it's Hughes, Edler, and Fantenberg on the left. So I think it's going to be Jordie Benn. He's the most seasoned of those three guys. Yes, he hasn't played a lot of hockey since March. Well, not a lot of people have, but him even less because he was away from training camp for a little bit. But I think he still is the most experienced by far. And, I think that Travis Green is going to trust a veteran like him as opposed to two rookie, so to speak, in that spot. With Ben, you kind of get Fantenberg, but not as fast, but maybe a tiny bit tougher. And Fantenberg plays a kind of a safe game, and that's what Jordie Benn does as well. Ben and Fantenberg kind of split time as a third pairing left side guy throughout the season, and I think they did play a couple games when either Myers or Tanev had to come out of the lineup. I can't remember exactly, but I do remember that Ben and Fantenberg played in one or two games together, but it was usually one or the other. So I do think it's going to be Ben because of his experience. Looking at the other two guys, Jalen Chatfield probably had the best camp out of the three guys. How much is a drop-off if Chatfield comes in? Would he thrive or wilt under the pressure? So hard to say, but again, my guess is that it won't be him, although guys like Corey Hergott, who was in Utica, all season covering the Comets. He seems to think that Corey Hergott, I got distracted by the car alarm. He seems to think that Jalen Chatfield would be actually able to step in and fill that role. So there's Chatfield, and then there's Brogan Rafferty. I think there's a lot of talk about Rafferty for next season, given that we're planning to lose either one or both of Tanev and or Stetcher. There's a lot of thoughts about Rafferty coming in and getting, earning a spot, giving a chance to earn a spot next season. So he was probably not as noticeable as Jalen Chatfield during the training camp. So I would say that Chatfield is actually ahead of Rafferty on the depth chart. Although next season I see Rafferty having the upper hand in making the team out of training camp. I hope that makes sense to you, but there's just a lot of talk about Rafferty coming out of training camp next season and making the team. So all to say, if I was a betting man, I would bet that it's Jordie Benn coming in as the third pairing right side D-man, paired with Oscar Fantenberg. It's not a pairing that screams confidence or shutdown, so expect the top four of Hughes, Edler, Tanev, and Stetcher to all get upwards of 20, 22 minutes even, and then likely even more than that, maybe between 20 and 25, and then maybe the third pairing gets anywhere between 8 and 12 minutes max. But we'll see. Remember what happened in Game 4, whereas the top 4 had all 25 minutes each, and then it was actually Ulevi only had 6 minutes, and then I think Stetcher only had 9 or 10 minutes in that game. So that's something to keep an eye on. We'll know about 7 o'clock, half an hour before puck drop, when the Canucks take the ice for their warm-ups. Other thing I want to talk about really quickly, after a Canucks win, and usually, but after a loss as well, I'll often go to the other team's social media, the other team's Twitter account, because I like to hear the press conference. I like to watch it and listen to it of the other team, the coach, the players, just to see what they say about the Canucks. Just because I'm curious, what kind of feedback, what kind of things that are being said about our team. And I said this on Twitter on Friday night. I don't expect the St. Louis Blues to bow down, to kiss the Canucks' feet, to concede the series even though they're down 2-0. I don't expect any of that, especially when you're a proud athlete, when you're the defending Stanley Cup champions. Of course, the St. Louis Blues are saying, and hopefully they feel, hopefully for them, that they still think they can come back in this series. Of course, as a Vancouver Canucks fan that's seeing how well the Canucks are playing, I like to think that the Canucks are going to wind up the series in 5, 6, even 7 games. But I definitely think that the Canucks are going to win the series as opposed to the Blues. Having said that, I thought that Coach Craig Berube or the 3 players that they interviewed, either Alex Pietrangelo, Ryan O'Reilly, or David Perron, again, not expecting them to bow down and worship the ground that the Canucks, or the ice that the Canucks skate on, but I thought they'd be a tiny bit more complimentary about the Vancouver Canucks, about how hard they're playing, about how skilled they are, about how fast they are. But Craig Berube, when he was talking about the overtime goal, he kind of dismissed it and said, oh, they chucked the puck up and one of their guys ended up getting it. Almost like it was an afterthought or it was a fluke. Whereas we know that pass from Quinn Hughes, as I talked about yesterday, took so much skill. The way he put the proper angle, the proper speed on it, and accuracy right on Horvat's tape, off the sideboards, avoiding the defender and avoiding the referee as well. It was a supreme, and basically as he was about to get buried by Bozak in the sideboards too. So we know that that play took a lot of skill. It was simply more than chucking the puck up. And then when you heard Perron, Pietrangelo, and O'Reilly not as much, but definitely Perron and Pietrangelo, they kept saying stuff like, we just got to play our game. When it came to Horvat, we just can't let him go one-on-one. We can't catch him cheating. We got to make sure that we see when he's cheating coming out of his own end. Just kind of words that were, I think, kind of mischosen, misplaced. Again, not the end of the world, and maybe I'm asking for too much, but I was just surprised that at the words that were coming out of the St. Louis Blues players' mouths. But then at the same time, I'm not surprised because they are proud athletes, and of course they're not going to, in the middle of a series in a team that they're battling with, they're not going to start heaping praise on them, or as some of you said, pumping their tires, to use a Luongo and Tim Thomas analogy from many years ago, from 9 years ago. So I guess I'm just being honest. I don't know what to expect. I don't know what I wanted to hear them say, but I was just surprised that there wasn't a lack of credit given to the Vancouver Canucks. But I'm a patient guy. I will wait till after the series, after hopefully the Canucks defeat them, whether it's games 4, 5, 6, or 7. Hopefully the Canucks defeat the Blues, and hopefully the Blues coaches and players will have more complimentary things to say. It's just something I noticed. It's not the end of the world, not a big deal at all, but it's just something I noticed and that I was kind of sharing. And many of you seem to agree with me on Twitter over the weekend. All right, so don't forget to join me after the game tonight on my live stream on YouTube. And the question of the day today is a pretty simple one. Who do you think will come in place of Tyler Myers, who we expect to miss today's game? Will it be Jordie Benn? Will it be Jalen Chatfield? Or will it be Brogan Rafferty? And tell me why you think that would be the best option. All right, Canucks fans, leave a comment below. I'd love to read, react, or reply as always. Subscribe if you'd like to. Like this video if you'd like to. Enjoy the day. I'm going to go play some spike ball now with my boys and a friend of mine. Kind of work up a sweat before I come home, settle in, do a bit of prayer, and then get ready for tonight's big game. And I hope you join me on YouTube after the game for my live stream. Stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. God bless. Go Canucks, go.